Guys, I actually set up like a bunch of filters and like did some things over the weekend regarding the recording stuff, and we're gonna have some content out here pretty soon. What up, Paula? First video is probably just gonna be like a short little video going over how I form my daily bias, and then we'll go there from you know whatever's next. But for the recording, that's really where a lot of um the better sounding elements will come and whatnot. But yeah, today's cooked. It's over. I mean, maybe we retrace, but probably not. This is the target, right? ICT kill zones was replicated 3 times. All right. Have I taken any trades? No, I got on light today, I'll be honest. The only valid trade that I saw was that 30-second long. Was that good? Yeah, it wasn't horrible. I don't think I would have gotten married to 50% there. I never get married to 50%. If there's something that's V shape and we manipulate lower before getting the long, like I'll try it. I think I would have taken it and I would have tried to target this high, maybe scale, then I would have been break even on the rest. I think this 1 minute long was fine too, but obviously it's just a worse setup because you could have entered it there off the 30-second. Uh, but yeah, I mean, whenever you're entering a position, ideally you want to be in that lower half of the dealing range, right? So there you're kind of logging in premium, and I mean that can contribute to the play losing, of course. No, that's fine. Um, I don't know. I normally don't get married to 50%. If we're reacting off of like the higher time frame, because like we can really just bounce wherever. Yeah. When 50 is never needed. It just creates a setup that's more high probability. The only time 50 is needed is when like there's a very obvious liquidity target that aligns with 50. But there's no liquidity target here at 50. So I don't know. I don't really get married to it. So the 30-second, yeah, I mean, it was like the best play of the day. Would I have taken it? I don't know. It's hindsight for me to say I would have taken it, but I mean, it looks decent. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like whenever we're in PM, whenever you guys watch me trading, do I ever get married to 50? Like not really, right? So that's just like a difference between the way that me and Ryan trade. Like I don't really get married to 50 ever. Why is the 1 minute a protected low? You tried shorting once the 1 minute failed. I'm not sure what time was the setup, crypto. There was news at 10. Was it important news today? Not really. New home sales, that's like orange folder, that shouldn't really matter. What 1 minute short are we talking about? 9:45, 30-second. Okay, let's take a look here. So you see the long fail, you're like, okay, now I'm going to take this short because we have a death candle. So once again, we just talked about longs and premium failing. This is shorts and discount failing, right? We're in discount of the dealing range. The only time I would ever short and discount is if like there's a very obvious draw below, and like right here, there's just not. 50% isn't a draw. It's a confluence, right? A draw on liquidity is only going to be a place where there's orders. There aren't orders at 50%, right? Unless there's a liquidity level there. That's why when I talk about, times I'll get married to 50, it's usually only when there's a liquidity level there. That 30-second also had a massive bullish SMT. Yeah, so if we hit the low there on ES but not on NQ, that could be another reason why the play didn't work out. Let's see, 934. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, we swept that low. I don't know. This just seemed like bad PA. If you're gonna see price causing this setup to fail here, we're struggling to put in 1 minute for value gaps. Like this just would have seemed like a choppy open to me. I probably would have waited for price to kind of clean up here, and I would have just missed the whole morning. But like I said, this is hindsight. Like any of these trades are just like, is this like the best setup you could possibly take? Like, is this a setup that we would normally take? I don't think this is a setup I would normally take personally, right? Like, it's okay. Yeah, we're saying the short. Like, we don't really get like a good liquidity sweep here. I mean, I guess we probably have a bearish SMT, right? That makes the trade at least okay. Yeah, so there's a bearish SMT there. But like overall, the conditions after you see this setup fail, like just don't really seem that convincing. I mean, this is decent, right? We respect this gap, so that kind of tells you order flow a little bit. But whenever you start to see the candles look like this, where they're super wicked, right, and the bodies are smaller than the wicks, that's just like a sign of like not very good PA. And then another sign that PA is not very good is the fact that the indices are uncorrelated. So we're like just completely off all morning with the highs and lows being taken. And then another thing is too, it's no news Monday, right? So you just have to like kind of anticipate like this being bad PA here, and maybe the setup's not being as high probability. Do I think it's the worst play in the world? No, I think it's probably like a B plus setup. Do I think that this long here is decent? Yeah, it's probably an A setup. Do I think the 1 minute long is very good? Probably not. I'd probably rate it A minus, but it's okay. If you recognize that there was an SMT at the high, maybe you go break even there. I would never take this short. No, I would be bullish bias. So that's the other problem with this short. It's totally against the bias here. I mean, we can see that the higher time frame is clearly wanting to become bullish again. So trying to short against the bias is just obviously a no-go. No, but Fahrenheit is very good at APOF. I haven't really been focused on it, but Fahrenheit literally got like probably all the accounts that you're trying to get. He's been kind of hoarding them, so yeah. 50% isn't a draw on liquidity. Don't target 50% as a draw, guys. Unless there's a liquidity level near 50, it's not a draw. I mean, if we're thinking about draws on liquidity as being stop losses, has ICT ever talked about people placing their stop losses at 50%? I've never heard of that, right? So it's more of just an extra confirmation slash support to help. Yeah, it's an area where you would identify like the dealing range on a higher time frame, and then you'd say, okay, when we're below this level, these longs are higher confidence than when they're above this level. That's basically the gist of 50%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's just a dream scenario, Sab, exactly, right? That would be like the ideal setup. But then again, like today's a day where you can just like not take a trade, and that's totally fine too. Because like, is today gonna be the highest probability day? Like this week? That's what I did. I didn't take a trade today. I checked the market at 9. I saw this, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know if today's gonna be good because I didn't really see any good draws today. We basically just had session liquidity to target. And whenever that's the case, that's usually not the best day. Yeah, you could just be like, well, this 30-second long probably failed because we were longing in premium of the overall higher time frame range. If we waited for discount of the higher time frame range, it would have been higher probability. But if it works, I mean, it just depends on whether or not this long here meets the threshold for you, right? I mean, if you're waiting for the best conditions every single time, then you're just going to take less setups. You're probably going to have a higher win rate, but you're not going to be able to make as much money in the long run, right? Because you're trying to find that balance between like, okay, this setup is just good enough, right? Like this long setup here, maybe it doesn't meet the criteria for you. Maybe it's not good enough, right? Yeah, yeah, for sure. If we inverse this 15, will we be bearish or will we stay bullish regardless because of all-time highs? At this point, if we inverse the 15, well, we have to ask ourselves what is significant about this 15 minute. Is there anything significant about it? We came down, hit the gap, made a higher high, so I guess it's a little significant, but overall, what I'm looking at here is probably going to be this 1 hour just because it's more obvious. So I wouldn't be bearish until we inverse this 1 hour, most likely. Maybe if we inverse this 15 minute, I'll be bearish to, I don't know, this low on the 5 minute or something. Yeah, I'm not really looking for a trade right now. I mean, I'm looking for a long, I guess, out of this 1 hour, but yeah, I'm not really married to anything. This is just like a skip the next day situation. Like this 1 minute long would be decent if the conditions were better. We have what? Triple equal highs here? Ooh, 1 minute long with triple equal highs above. This long looks like AMD. Not really. Nah, this isn't like textbook AMD. This is kind of starting to look like the sell side of the curve, if I'm being real here. We get a bearish reaction after sweeping Asia high and like the open. And so now this long almost looks like a long that would be on the sell side of the curve. But the one thing that I like about it is that we're reacting bullish to this unfilled 1 hour gap here. So um, just because of the conditions and the context of today, this is probably an eval trade. But if today was better, I wouldn't hate this long setup like unfunded. Um, but yeah, for now, I'd probably call this just like an eval trade. But yeah, let's see. Looks like we got the close there. But yeah, just the only reason why I wouldn't take a setup unfunded right now is because of the context of the overall market. It just doesn't really seem high probability. But this would be like a mechanical setup long. You know, at least the draw on liquidity isn't horrible here. I'd prefer if this high was at a swing point versus, you know, right there, but it is 3 candle highs that are all right there. There's another set right here, but this is more just price telling me that okay, the volatility is really low right now, so like the price ranges are smaller, so there's more of a chance for candles to kind of line up all in the same spot. Not really necessarily that there's like a lot of orders here. It's just like low volatility, low volume conditions. How's it going? Good, Alex. How are you? Yeah, you could target here, by the way, and then you could actually even target like I guess lunch highs or up here with this long. For this long, I'd go break even at this high, at PM high, and then yeah, we'll just go from there. Hey, congrats, Alex. Is this your first year? Are you a freshman? We talk about the 2 minute short 1250 to the equal lows. We did not talk about that. I would have never taken this trade. Never, never, never. Not really a good liquidity sweep. Gap isn't obvious, and the equal lows aren't a good draw. You're a junior? Oh, awesome. Very cool. Well, good luck with the semester, man. I hope your plan B works out. Alrighty, well, I guess we're just kind of making moves. What's the dream scenario for market? It's kind of playing out. We've retraced this unfilled 1 hour gap here, and we're getting a decent reaction out of it here with this 1 minute inverse. So I said this would be a good eval play just because of the context of the overall market. It's been kind of a choppy day, but I like the triple equalize here and here as draws. So we're kind of watching the dream scenario play out right now. Dodgy will talk sometimes about like days where we just trade on evals. Today's kind of that day. It'll be nice here in about 30 seconds. We'll see this 5-minute close above this gap, and that'll be good to see price set higher here. All right, so we're kind of making a move up right now. Guys, UNH has just been chopping at my entry ever since the weekly inverse. How many of you guys are in this eval long right now? Alrighty. Yeah, it's up 8 points. It's about to be up, I don't know, 13. Oh yeah, the 5-minute inverse, so that's a good sign. This would be a 5R eval play if the whole thing hit. After scales, it would probably be closer to like 3, but Carlos just pointed out something interesting about this trade that I just noticed right now. Um, this was actually a 1-hour unicorn long. right? That's another confluence, I guess, for this trade. This is actually almost a 4-hour SMR, but I don't know. You didn't really get a true liquidity sweep here, so it's not really SMR. By the way, did my clarification kind of answer your question, Vert, about SMR? Okay. I mean, if you just think about the formula for it, right? What you need for each one of those individual events to occur, I mean, that kind of answers your question. So the question is now about, the break-even stop. Does it make sense for price to pull back here if we're bullish and if we're going to hit these equal highs? My question was just, does it make sense for price to, pull back here if we're just going to be bullish, or would it make more sense to just, hit the equal highs first? I mean, the only thing that I could say about us pulling back here would be, maybe price wants to tap into the 5-minute gap, but I don't think we would violate the 5-minute BPR here. So I feel like it makes sense to go break even just because we've put this in. We probably shouldn't violate this. It's kind of up to you guys. The true mechanical break even hasn't hit. I think if we pump up here and we get like a good order block and we close above this high, I would go break even for sure, regardless of whether or not we hit the high. Like, can we draw out the 1-hour breaker? Sure. So the 1-hour breaker for me is just starting at 2300 here, going up to 1 a.m. And it's a breaker because we close below this series of down close candles, forming an order block. And then we close above here at 10 o'clock, creating the breaker. Right? We go to like the 3-hour, or maybe it's the 2-hour. It's maybe more prominent. I'm trying to find like a singular candle there, but yeah. So like, I think I would go break even. I think if I was in this trade, I would be break even. Because now we kind of have an order block. There's not really any reason why price should head lower before hitting this high. What about the 8 a.m. candle? What about it? 8 a.m. You're asking me if the 8 a.m. candle is a breaker? This would just be a... No. This is just a bullish order block here. It would turn into a bearish breaker if we close below it. This one, like, whenever price creates like barcode like this isn't like a good example of a breaker. A breaker or an order block, you usually want to see at a swing point. So here, do you see how this forms like an internal low and then an internal high? So this is kind of like your swing low, back up, retrace, right? I mean, this candle here isn't really at a swing point. It's just kind of in the range. This is your swing point here. So you want your, like, I guess down close candles to be at swings. Yeah. Or like something like this even. Like this is a decent OB here, I guess. But this is good. Right, that's a good order block. This is good too, right? This is a good bearish order block. You could see that here we inverse it. This kind of creates your 1-hour SMR here. Here's another good order block to the downside that gets turned into a breaker. Same thing here. Another good bearish order block. Here's a good bullish order block here. So on and so forth. And okay, we're kind of coming down a little bit here. This is technically a good mechanical break even, right? Because when we put in a new high and sweep it, that should be the break even anyway. So I think if you get stop break even here, that's totally fine, especially since we have that 5-minute gap that we're tapping into now. And also we're gonna have 2 o'clock here. You know, that should introduce some volatility. So if we start to drop through the entry, then it'll probably be a loss. Also, I'm pretty sure, oh no, this will just be the next 4-hour candle, but we'll see a 4-hour order block here. Right, this is a 4-hour OB. And a 4-hour breaker. So there that is. If we come up here and close above this candle body in 5 minutes, this will be a good bullish order block, right? Because this is creating a swing point inside this 5-minute gap. Okay, so stop to break even. I'm okay with that. So I guess just a break even trade. So is this PA still bad? Yeah. Yeah, because we're struggling to form 1 minute for value gaps. This will be annoying if we just tap the break even and pop right back up. I hope the setup fails now so that the break even actually, you know, saves us. But if it pumps, wouldn't that be an SMR? No, no. Nah, there's none of that turtle soup here. So the start of the SMR is always going to be a turtle soup. Still edge the 50%, like of this move up from this morning. Yeah, probably. Well, it's not really edged, but yeah. Keeping an eye on ES here. There's not really any SMTs that we have to worry about. What is your favorite setup, like your go-to? The one trade we had last week on the 5 minute. This one. Any trades for PM? Yeah, there was a eval play that we just got break even on. Yeah, my favorite IPG setup is definitely AMD, followed by SMR. AMD followed by SMR coming right into the macro. Or just OSFL. But OSFL like used to be better. We haven't gotten a good OSFL setup in so long, but like last year OSFL, that would be literally how I would make like half the money I'd make in a month. It's just trading OSFL setups. So like if you'd asked me this question like a year ago, probably OSFL. Now it's like AMD plus SMR. When I look for FVG delivery, is it better to focus on delivery from the current time frame and its paired time frame? For example, if I look for an M1 IFVG and pair it with 4 minute delivery, would that be weaker delivery? Yeah, so usually you want to pair your lower time frame delivery with like its complement on the higher time frame. So like 1 minute and 15 minute go together, 5 minute and hourly go together. Um, you know, 15 minute and 4 hour go together, right? So like if you think about like each lower time frame having its complement on the higher time frame, that's usually how you want to pair them. Does that make sense? So like if we're assuming a 15 minute move, if we look at like the 15 minute dealing range and we're expecting price to go from one side of the 15 minute dealing range to the other side, we would use the 1 minute and try and target the other side of the 15 minute using that 1 minute entry. As far as delivery goes, you could pretty much use the 5 minute and up for that. You know, if you just need to identify the significant POI that's holding price. So like right now, that POI is probably going to be like this 1 hour gap to the left or like the 4 hour, whatever, right? So if this gap breaks, that tells you, okay, we're bearish. Okay. And then and vice versa to the upside here, we have this 4 hour gap that's holding us, right? So once that breaks, that'll tell us, okay, we're going to go higher. Okay. And that's kind of how you treat delivery. Since it's slow, can you over Dodge's time frame alignment? Yeah, somebody can give me that screenshot. I'll just throw it up on the chart real quick. But yeah, like that, basically what I just described is kind of like the idea behind that PDF. Yeah, exactly, EJ. That's what I'm trading. Today's just an off day for me. I didn't even trade AM either. So like this is getting pretty choppy. Near that 1 minute entry, right? I mean, would you still want to be in this trade? It looks good now, right? But like come down, tag the break even, then you're in drawdown, we're chopping. Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. So like I might have been a little off with the time frames I was describing, but basically there's like a complement to each time frame. Oh, actually no, I was spot on. So 1 minute, 15 minute, 2 minute, 15 minute, 3 minute, 30 minute, 5 minute, 1 hour, 15 minute, 4 hour, 1 hour daily, 4 hour weekly, right? So if you think about each one of these, being relative to the other, each one kind of has a complement, right? So if you're expecting a move on the 15 minute dealing range, you would look at like the 1 or the 2 minute time frame. Yeah, exactly. Like you use the lower time frame to target a 15 minute draw or like a 1 hour draw or a 5 minute. Yeah, 1 minute can deliver out of a 4 hour, right? But it's just like what you're expecting the target to ultimately hit. Like I wouldn't expect a 4 hour target to get hit off of a 5 minute move. Yeah, and that would still be considered like good delivery. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think PA's been bad this whole time. I haven't kind of shifted from that idea. All I see is opportunity. Yeah, on the MFFU live stream. Yeah, there's a couple guys I think on the MFFU live stream that trade IFEGs. Yeah, Pip Captain, exactly. Exactly. That's just the recommendation. It's not like a hard, fast rule. You can still take 5 minute longs to target the other side of the 15 minute. You can even take 30 second. It's not like, okay, this is the only way that this needs to be done. It's just like a recommendation. What Dodgy will do sometimes is he will take longs in the 1 minute, right? Okay. And he'll be like, okay, I want to target this high based off this 1 minute entry. But then he'll hold runners anticipating price to continue to head towards like maybe a 4 hour target, and he'll monitor different inverses on like the 5 and 15 minute to confirm that idea. Does that make sense? So he'll still use like basically his position to start an entry in the 1 minute, target a 15 minute target, and then as that 15 minute target gets hit, he'll monitor like other entries on the 5 and 15 minute to target the next, the next targets beyond that. So I think it's Wordle time. Dude, we got to start like. You're not getting this, dude. I get I get everyone. I get every Wordle. Print. Okay. I mean, I already have 3 letters. We can do like R T R I. No, that doesn't really. I mean, unless it's like. No, it's probably not. It probably starts with a vowel. UT. Or. I don't know. What are we thinking? ITR? No. It'd be like dirty. Okay. Verdi. Yeah, Verdi. It could be like birth. Okay, it could be like girth or I don't know. What's another one? Is it just girth? Girth. I mean, is there any other word? Terth. Is this a word? Hearth. Is this a word? Is lurth a word? GLICK. We could test this word and do like get rid of a bunch of the potentials. Is lurth even a word? Oh my god, it is. Yeah, if we do like this or even like that, that would get rid of a lot of potential letters. I mean, I don't think K is going to be in there, but we need GL. We need we need maybe like glove. We can try glove. Okay, so it's gonna be like hearth maybe. Is earth a word? Worth? Is this a word? No, I don't think so. That's not a word. Is this a word? Okay, cool. All right, we get it done. Mirth. I guess. Any dream scenario? We kind of already had it play out. Now it's just like really choppy PA. We're kind of putting in LRLR right now. So ideally we'll run this at some point. Maybe we can see price come back and run the low and then have a long. Do you think IPGs work on lower time frames? I mean, like 30-second 1, 2, or max 3-minute IPG plays on higher time. I mean, so we use the lower time frame as an entry model, but IFGs work on every time frame. I've taken swing plays off of the daily IFG. I'm in a UNH long right now off the weekly. All an IFG does is it signals a reversal in order flow. Okay. And so whenever you're using an IFG, you want to kind of have other confluences to base that order flow off of on top of the IFG. I just like I know Dodgy's profitable, yeah, but why? I have no idea, Vert. I like to be somewhat transparent with like payouts or whatnot. I'll show them every once in a while. Um, if I ever get like something that's like significant, like crazy, like obviously I'll share that, like a 6-figure payout. But Dodgy like just likes to be private. I don't know why he does the things he does. How else did you enter on clear change of order flow when there's no clear IFGs? CISD, yes, CISD is one. Um, just disrespecting other PD arrays than IFGs. So like if we disrespected order blocks, creating breaker blocks, I don't know. This 30-second, yeah, this 30 seconds cooked. I wouldn't touch it. I mean, on the flip side, Fahrenheit, so you be completely transparent about every single thing you do, right? Okay. And what that does online is sure it creates that brand, that good brand for you whenever you're doing really well. But trading isn't like that, right? And some people don't really understand that. There's going to be moments in your trading where like things are really good and you're making a bunch of money. And then there's going to be moments where like you're not doing so hot. And so if you're 100% transparent, do you think that those moments where you're not doing so hot is going to be conducive to a overall like good marketing or good brand, right? Maybe if you're somebody that cares about trust and transparency, but for 99% of people that just care about the big numbers and the big wins and whatever, they're not going to really take that into context and just like you know they're gonna be like, oh, this dude's a loser, because like what the algorithm does is whenever you like have more impressions or more interactions, it promotes that content more. So when somebody's losing, everyone kind of bandwagons, right? For example, this weekend with his comment that he made on whoever's post that was Desi, it's like that kind of blew up out of proportion when Desi had like a bad week. And so now that everyone sees, oh, Desi's losing at trading, obviously that brings like a negative stigma or whatever. It's just like it's just better to be private about these things, right? And like just worry about yourself. At least that's his perspective on it. Me, I could care less, honestly. it is what it is. If that's something you guys care about, if you want to be with somebody who's very transparent and shows all their P&Ls and whatever, maybe Dodgy's not for you. Sure. Yeah, it just kind of depends on the type of person that you want to look to more. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, the reason why he's not 100% transparent, I imagine, is for marketing purposes and maybe privacy. But I'm not going to speculate. I don't know. You know, he could not want to share it because maybe he's too profitable and he's not trying to put you guys down. I don't know. you know. Yeah, that's the other thing too. If he starts showing it, there's goalpost moving. There's always going to be haters no matter what. It's just like, well, it kind of looks like the setup's going to fail, right? So how do we feel about this break even? Yeah. How do you go with trading fundeds and evals? Should I just trade my funded seriously and get some evals with the mindset? Some I pass, some I don't. Yeah, yeah, that's totally fine. That's usually how I do it. Um, you can also, yeah, I mean, it really just depends on your financial situation. If you're somebody who's can kind of take more losses on eval, and like you don't really care about that, then having like that mindset where you just you blow one, you win one, okay, who cares, right? At the end of the day, what you're more concerned of is getting to that point of profitability, right? And so you want to get to a fund as quick as you can. If you're somebody who's not in as good of a financial situation and you kind of want to take your time with things, and these MFFU accounts are a little bit more expensive than like an Apex account, right? um then take care of those accounts, treat them like fundeds, and just pass them over time, using the same risk management that you would for a funded. It really just depends. It's a person to person basis. So normally what I do is I'll just try and pass the account as quick as I can, because I don't want to be sitting around waiting for my accounts to be funded so that I have less leverage. If I want to build like backup accounts, what I'll do is I'll trade those alongside my fundeds, and so when I get like payouts, I'll have backup fundeds ready for when the drawdown gets reset or whatnot. What's the reactivation fee on a 50k Apex? I have no idea, but normally what I do with Apex accounts is if I fail one, I just buy a new one. I don't reactivate them because I think it's more money to reactivate or reset them. It's like $50. And then like normally to buy them it's like 30 something. So I really like our break even. We went break even at the best possible point. It was the highest point in the market. If we would have waited for PM high there, we would have actually taken a loss. So is it cheaper? Yeah, on Apex, yes. Yeah. Do I like the Alpha Future Zero account? I have no idea what that is. Do you can you explain the legal things with saying this is not financial advice? I don't know. I can't give financial advice for it. So I can't give legal advice on that kind of thing. I would say speak to a lawyer. That's what Dodgy did. That's what I did. I don't know. I can't speak on it. I'm not a lawyer. Bro is prepping for the paid Discord now. He's like, dude, help me. How do I get financial advice? 5 second inverse. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, okay, okay. That's cool, Brad. Yeah, as long as they're like around $50, that doesn't sound like a horrible deal. As long as the pass plus the activation fee is less than like $150, that's usually good. Marvin, we cannot speak on these things. $130 per month with no activation. That's not horrible. So is this Desi guy? I have no idea. Yeah, don't get into it. It's not a big deal. It's just drama. I just there was a funny quote from the tweet that he made that me and Carlos just keep quoting. It's funny. Basically, in response to his tweet, where he's like, um, saying, "Oh, I had the worst day of my career and all this stuff." Dodgy goes in the replies. He goes, "I knew this would happen." it's, it's so funny. Like just like I don't know. It's funny because like the level of self awareness just isn't there. I don't know. Dude, this is like actually the worst PA ever. I'm considering setting a stop loss. uh, um, guys, I'm gonna get in two minis here. Short. Wait, I'm actually gonna average up in 5 minis. Um, in 15. All right, account's likely gone. Dude, you gotta post that video in here. All right, Murmur, we will catch you tomorrow. You guys know that if you have TradingView Premium, for example, and try to cancel, they will give you a 30%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of websites do that. I used to do that actually for PM, but and I was like, nah, if they want to be here, they'll stay here. Yeah, there's a TradingView discount right now. It's like $200 for the pro plan for a year. So if you guys were looking to get the TradingView Pro plan, now would be the time to do it, or you could just wait till Black Friday. By the way, little teaser. I plan on doing a sale for PM in September, and for the people that have already subbed, I'll probably do like a giveaway or something. Just because it's gonna be way too difficult this time around to like retroactively add each individual person's discount. That's what I did like back in March. But there's just too many people in here, so for everyone that's already in here, I'll do like a giveaway, and then obviously I'll do like what I could do actually is I could do like a discount on like 3 months or something. I don't know, Twisted. Are we still doing that? I need to get like interest for it first, Twisted. So like if like there's 10 people that DM me and like say that they're actually interested in joining the Minecraft server, then I guess we'll set one up. But if I don't have enough interest, then there's not really any point to setting it up. So like yeah, I guess if you're interested in joining the Minecraft server, I'll talk about it over the next few days, and if I have like 10 people that are like, okay, I'll play on it, I'll be on it like once a week, then yeah, we can do that. Am I profitable trading? I'm profitable on Minecraft. Yeah, I used to build servers for money. You sense A plus set it tomorrow? That could be good. All right, I'm gonna pull up the mini. Dude, Carlos was supposed to pull up this video, and he just still hasn't. So now I gotta go find it. Oh, by the way, I did my fantasy draft last night, and I auto drafted after I got my starters. Oh, he did? Oh, cool. How did I do in the fantasy draft? I think the only person I might have reached for was Mahomes. But I feel like he's gonna have a bounce back year this year, so I think it'll be okay. I think I got Mahomes in like the 5th round or 6th round or something. No, it was 5th round for sure. The 10-man. This is a 10-man, by the way. Love the diversity. Yeah. 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 If you're equally far away from profit target and DLL on an eval, which direction would you go? Short or long? I need 42 points. Oh, that's a tough. It's literally so 50-50. We'll take a poll. We'll take a poll. Okay, everyone vote. Dude, this video is so funny. Let's watch it. Can you guys see my screen? Can you hear it? All right.
Down 200, down 300. In with 2, down 600, down 700. Added 2 more, down 1500. 5 contracts long, down 2000. In with 3 more. Counts likely gone. Bye. I'm in with 1 long, down 200, down 300. In with 2, down 600, down 700. Added 2 more, down 1500. 5 contracts long, down 2000. In with 3 more. Counts likely gone. Bye.
That's so stupid. Dude, we gotta get Fahrenheit up on stage to do that. Looks like long is the winner. So find a good opportunity to long. 1310 candle on the 5-minute. Is that a bullish OB that turned bearish breaker? 5-minute 1310. 5-minute 1310. 5-minute 1310. No, this was never a bullish order block, so it never became a breaker. Right, we need to close above the body. So the close is what makes it the OB, the close above. Yeah, exactly. What do you think is the most important confluence when I want to trade more aggressively? I mean, instead of only taking mechanical A plus setups, I'd like to take more context-based plays. Okay, most important confluence outside of bias is probably momentum. So if you just wait for order flow, draw, and momentum, you'll probably be in good shape no matter what setup you're taking. What would you say about long if we sleep 5-minute low at 1020 while hitting 50%? I mean, yeah, that would be like decent. That was what I had marked out at the beginning of stream, was this low. But like overall, is that realistic right now given the volatility? So we'd have to see an increase in volatility here, right? British bye-bye, Hardy Gulp. It's been called the City of Light and the City of Love. Clark, blank, aka Superman. Comedically risky. Baking measure for short. Unable to sleep. Sleepy. An extraordinary process whereby you become the person you always should have been, for David Bowie. Pig's Home. Thanks, Poppy. Yep, Kent got that. Unable to sleep. Awake. Sleepy. I don't know. I don't know. Die. Baking measure. Tablespoon. Teaspoon? Teaspoon. Ta-ta. All right. I don't know. What are we thinking? Tired. Aging. All right, cool. Pearl Jam, Pom Pom Filter, Pipe Cleaner Feathers, Fix, Tampered Pea, Willing, Guzzle, Mess, Lighter, Pickle, Sad, Mothball. What else? One of these things is going to be like, oh, by the way, we hit that low Fahrenheit. Things in a jar, in a jam, in a pickle, in a mess, in a fix, maybe? Yeah, okay. Ooh. Nope, no setup back up. This is where you wanted to take the long, right? Was when we reswept this low. Oh man. He's going. Pipe cleaner, lighter, filter. I feel like there's like a thing we're trying to make. Pea, a pearl. What's like another circle in nature? Maybe mothball would be like that last thing. Any more sauce today? Yeah, I mean, as long as people ask questions. But if nobody's asking questions, then probably not. Uh-oh. Fahrenheit's account's gone. How much RR am I up? August? I don't know. Let's see. Where's that screenshot? I think I'm up like around 10. It was like 8 when I last checked that screenshot, and then I don't know. Last week was really good. It was like 7. But I don't think that screenshot I sent was wholly accurate, so I don't know. Yeah, unfunded. What is the next CPI eval pass? I don't know. Let's check. What is CPI here? Let's go for expected. Wow, it's not for a while. September 11th. Is it next week NFP? Yeah, it should be. September 5th. Yeah. Yeah, next Friday. NFP is next Friday, so I guess that would be the next potential time. Would be the last thing. Feathers, pipe cleaner. I feel like this is something. Pom pom pearl. No. Okay. Maybe this is like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's okay, cool. So I think we figured that out at the same time. Can I make the 3K on eval in one day and the other 7 days just take really small positions? No, Benjamin, not for Apex. I imagine that's what you're asking me since it's 8 days. For Apex, you need to follow the 30% consistency rule. And if you flip more than I think it's 2 days, you'll get denied your payout. That was actually how I got my like fifth payout denied, was by doing that. I got to like 6 days and flipped the last four. Eval can be passed in one day. Yeah, true. Sorry, Sammy. Flipping days just means like you make a small profit or you just enter a position quickly and exit. That's not. I mean, I think you can do it for 20% of the days. On eval, yeah, but on eval you can just pass in a day, so you don't even have to flip the other 7 days. You'll just pass the account. I'm gonna mark 56 on the chart so we can keep track of Fahrenheit 3 mini position here. Almost got stopped out. We have a 4 minute long. Not really any other good time frame. Yeah, you mentioned it's halfway between DLL and even, so that means you're down like 600, I think, if it's a 50K. Oh, 40 points of DLL? Okay, never mind. My bad. One away. We're one away here. Is it this? One away still. No, it was a later. It's this. I lost. I don't care. Oh, it wasn't the feather. That's what it was. Wow, that. Oh, like I see. I'm down. That's funny. The max risk per day for MFFU, like how much I risk. Normally I risk like 500. So like 2R. Yeah, pretty much. It depends on the sizing of the trade, Nat. So let's say, for example, we're basing our stop loss on this 1 minute. Normally, what I'll do is I'll look at how many like points the minimum stop is, and then I'll add like a few. So like, let's say for this trade, it'd be like 11 points. I would then look at, okay, 200 risk to account for worst case scenario being the swing low getting hit for the stop. And then I will look at how many micros here I'm allowed to use. So in this trade, it would be like 8. Okay. And this will adjust depending on the size of the stop. So if it's like a 17 or 18 point stop, it would be like 5 micros. Oh, yeah, the most you can go in is 30 for a 50K on eval. On funded, it's a scaling plan. So as you make more profit, you unlock more micros. So at the start, you start with 10. No, that's fine. 4R on a month like this one, that's fine. Especially if you're copying that across like 20 accounts. You're not even risking like 200 though. Usually, I thought you were risking like 100. My my stop is based on like in between cheddar. So the average of the two, the best and worst, because that's what I found to be about, where the stop gets hit normally. Every once in a while, it'll be the best case scenario. Every once in a while, it'll be the worst case. On average, it's about in between the two. So that's what I risk it for. Yeah. Sometimes it'll be here. Sometimes it'll be here. Most of the time, it's like here. Okay, 8 micros. Perfect. Dang. Dude, this long is cooking. Dude, Fahrenheit owes us all commission if this hits. I want some paper money off of this. On a weekly basis, if I have more leverage, like 20 accounts, or I aim for less RR, it's up to you. I just aim for 2.5 because that's the average. I don't aim for a specific profit target. I'm just saying that's about what you can expect. Yeah, I'll give you paper money if it doesn't go your way, Fahrenheit. Even though it was a Democratic vote, so it really should just be like a split loss amongst everyone who voted for longs. Yeah, 2 hour a week's fine. I don't think you should necessarily have a target, because some weeks are going to be really good and you'll be limiting yourself if you like, you know, only take 2R a week. Vert, because remember, I switch accounts after I take a win. And I'd switch accounts if I take a loss. Yeah. So I'm never like in a position where I'll take a loss and a win. The only time I did that was like last week. I did something stupid and I traded the same account twice. And so I ended up getting break even. And then I had to like take another and it was like 3 trades. And that was stupid. Doesn't it look like a market maker sell model on the 5? Yeah. That's why this 1 minute long was concerning to me initially. Because this kind of looked like longing on the sell side of the curve. But right now we're just watching Fahrenheit's account based on a Democratic vote for a long, because he's trying to like pass his 500th eval. Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, Fahrenheit is cooked. It's over. He's about to be in financial ruin. By the way, here's 3 o'clock. By the way, I forgot to do my daily bias thing today. Um, just because I didn't get on until like 10:30. But I would have just said long. Oh, I said that yesterday actually. I said it yesterday. What was my bias for the week? I literally just said long. So I kind of did it. But did anybody tune in for the Sunday class? I just did like Q&A. Mostly just going over like it was funny. When I was going over the class or whatever, we were going over the Thursday trades. And like as soon as Daji joins, he's like, "We need to go over the Thursday stuff," and he starts like listing off the things about the Thursday. We're like, "We already went over that. We already went over that." Like, literally, if he would have just joined a few minutes earlier, he could have talked about that with us. Um, I don't agree with his definition of a CISD, so I guess that's another place that we differ because, um, he was saying like it's the first candle after a liquidity sweep, and by that definition, the 3 minute would have had a CISD, which like it just didn't. Like he's saying that after a liquidity sweep, when we close above this candle, that's our CISD, and that's just not true. So, kind of ignore that, in my opinion, because a CISD is just an inverse manipulation leg, and so if we don't close above the whole manipulation leg, then it's not an inverse manipulation leg. It's just an OB. Which, like, if you wanna start taking OBs, like that's fine, but they hold less importance than a manipulation leg. See, dude, 6 out of 30 for a diet assessment. You're using ChatGPT to for a diet and wellness plus class, dude. It's cooked. It's cooked. Bro really said this is Plan B. Hey, how does it feel though that you gotta pay for those credits? You gotta pay for diet and wellness. Oh, it's all free. Well, that's good. Well, somebody's gotta pay for it. Wait. I just saw something of Trump saying he's gonna put people in jail for a year who burn the flag. It's cooked. It's all cooked. Well, Fahrenheit is still break even. Dude, this is like the worst PA ever. By the way, we're gonna wrap up in about 20 minutes here. Unless like PA magically becomes way better. For sure, Fahrenheit. The ghost in the machine, right? Right. Uh ooh. A lion, bro. This is not LRLR? No, but this is. This isn't too bad. Like Fahrenheit needs to go break even when we get to here. Dude, wow, this magnet really worked. Was there a valid setup for us here? I mean, I guess we had the 1 minute there. No 2 minute, no 3, no 4. So I think it's just a 1 minute close. Yeah, except you're not factoring in volatility, Fahrenheit. Meaning the range today might not have enough juice to get you to your target. Yeah, it might not even go that high or that low. That's assuming it'll go that high. But yeah, like from a simplistic point of view, yes, yeah, you're correct. Because there's no DLL, then you know, you don't have to worry about it. True, true. If you got to like $1,200 profit, you could just lock that in, or not 1,200. It would be like 1,800, and then you'll have 50-50 odds tomorrow. Dude, this is so stupid. Well, we're reacting to the trend line here, as predicted. What if we get this 5-minute inverse to the downside? Uh oh. Uh oh. Dude, this is like so bad. I guess we might get a 2-minute here. Go previous hourly low to previous hourly high, maybe? Maybe. We inverse the 2 minutes to the downside. Did we tap into like a 15? No. 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 Okay. Yeah, we caught some patience. We also caught this woman eval play was a break even. We were trying to target here. We reswept this high, said go to break even. Price came back, was a break even trade. In this trade, do you take partials? No, I wouldn't have taken partials until liquidity was swept. I only take profit when we hit liquidity or tap into an unfilled inefficiency. All right, we got about 10 more minutes left of this session that I'll be streaming. There's just not a whole lot going on. I don't think I provided $2.50 worth of value today, so I apologize for that. There just wasn't a lot of opportunity to. But hopefully you guys took something away from today. I just know for most of you that have been here for a while, I'm just regurgitating a lot of the same stuff that we've already talked about in the past. I know it's pretty late in the session at this point. I probably should have asked earlier, but did anybody do anything interesting this weekend? Paper account cooking. All right. ES could be hitting New York low. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like sell side of the curve for sure. I mean, overall, they're just uncorrelated, right? And Q can't make a lower low, but ES is clearly heading lower here. Let's try this one while we're waiting for 3:30 here. So it's Quirtle. So it's just like Wordle, except you have to solve 4 words, but you're guessing all on the same board. You have to be kind of strategic about your guesses. Okay. You got what would this word be? Chief, I guess. Yeah, okay. I can't be that. It can be Shalk or I don't know. Shall? No. That's gonna lose us, I think. We're missing a T. No, 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 I'm not blaming you. It's a joint effort though. Schultz, okay. No T any of these words. I have no idea what this word is. It's like probably a Y. Geeky, maybe? Yeah, okay. And then this one is FI something. Could be like Fitty. This isn't a word, right? Jiffy, right? Yeah. All right. Nice. We got it done anyway. Well, I wish good luck to Fahrenheit on his position. I don't really think we're going to get too much else this session, so I'm probably going to wrap up here. I'm hoping for a better day tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Catch you then. Peace out.